Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another live stream Tuesday. We've made it through Monday again, and I hope you guys had a great weekend. Let's see who is in the live chat room. Thank you guys for joining in the live chat room so early on. And we have Neil in there moderating with Carla and Laurie, who I've seen there earlier. So thank you guys so much for moderating tonight. And Vince just went through, and Barbara and Dan and Deborah and Ray and Corey and Leanne and Susan and Dennis are in the house. And Debbie, King Nero, Jennifer as well. Hello guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight on the Tuesday night live stream. And also, let me see if I can get from the beginning of the live stream the likes in the corner of the screen, because that's something that I sometimes forget to put up until a little bit into the live stream. But tonight's target, even though it might be wishful thinking, we're going to be aiming for 270, which we did hit on the Saturday live stream. But on a Tuesday, obviously, some people are at work and won't be watching the live stream, so we might have to rely on the catch-up crew to get us over that line. But we will see where we end up by the end of the live stream. If everyone can hit that thumbs up, it would be massively appreciated. And we'll see how early we can get a spike of the likes in order to break down this target of 270. But thank you everyone for joining me tonight and for joining me in the previous live streams and hitting that thumbs up as well. So without further ado, let me get the names of my patrons up on screen. And these people make it possible for these live streams to happen in the first place, but just everything on the channel as well. And just a quick note, I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to add a couple more names, because there have been a couple more additions over on Patreon, so thank you guys for becoming a patron of mine over there. But it's just something that I haven't got around to doing yet, adding the extra couple of names to the list. But I'll see if I can do that during a video, and hopefully it won't all crash. But anyway, thank you guys, you know who you are at the bottom of the screen. They also do pop up in the super chat window as well. And let me get the super chat window up on screen, because as is becoming a regular theme, there have been some donations before we even went live with the live stream. So thank you guys so much for that. And we are going to be kicking off with Orlando. He's back to his top spot in the super chat window, and this was a donation of $5. Thank you for that, Orlando. And it says, spike the likes, do it with lots of thumbs up. So thank you for that. And that was at 6:45 this morning, so thank you for that. Very early donation. And Linda Z has donated $10 as well. Thank you for that, Linda. And this was about an hour and 25 minutes ago. And the message was, how dare my job get in the way of the live stream today? Don't they know by now this my happy place on Tuesdays? Oh well, this grumpy girl will join the catch-up crew instead. Have fun, everybody. So thank you for that, Linda. And hello, if you're watching this on the catch-up a little bit later on. I hope that your job went very quickly and the hours just flew by, and now that you're watching the live stream instantaneously after pretty much doing that message in the donation. But thank you, Linda Z. I'm sure it's not going to go like that, because work always tends to drag on a little bit. But thank you, Jen, as well, who has donated $5. And the message is, can't be here again for whatever sweets. And there's a heart and a smiley face there. So thank you for that, Jen. And both Linda and Jen are probably going to be part of that catch-up crew tonight. So everybody in the house, in that live chat room, let's have a little look through. We've got Christopher and Diane to Gig has joined us as well, and Elaine and King Nero and Jennifer and Barbara as well. So hello guys, Patrick's in there as well. Thank you for joining me on this Tuesday night live stream. We have had one more donation, and this is from Carl. Thank you for this, Carl. The message is, the donation is $5, and the message is the usual: if the age of Corona ever ends, stay healthy and safe all. So thank you for that, Carl. That is for the Cross the Pond Fund. If this is your first live stream and you don't know what Carl's saying or referring to when he says the usual, he donates every time for the Cross the Pond Fund, and This is also something that we've had different names suggested by Lucy in the past. Phil Fairs and Phil Con and Phil Estival, all of these kind of things. But thank you so much for that, Carl. And Carla has donated $9.99. Thank you so much for that, Carla, and for moderating tonight as well. It is massively appreciated. And Deborah has donated $9.99 as well. So thank you for this, Deborah. And the message is, hi Phil, I so appreciate the analysis videos. No matter what mood I'm in, your videos are right on time to make me feel great. So thank you for that, Deborah. And I'm glad that I can make you feel a little bit better, because that's all good. Anything that just improves your state of mind has got to be, well, it's got to be a move in the right direction for just general humanity. But thank you so much for that, Deborah. And Lucy has donated $14.99. And the message is, howdy Phil, fellow wingers, new wingers and troll patrol. For whatever you need, Phil, spike the likes, y'all. Thanks for all you do. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and stay sane. With some rock horns, heart, and peace. So thank you for that, Lucy. And thank you also for these donations so early on. Just everybody in the super chat window, and just for joining me in the live chat room tonight. It is massively appreciated, because as you guys might know by now, a few years ago I just used to live stream to 1 or 2 people. And over on Facebook I would do a live stream where I would call out everybody's name who watched the last live stream, because there were maybe 20 people, so I could just say hi to everybody and call out the names. But we've got a little bit more of a community going on here on YouTube, so thank you everyone for getting involved and for hitting that thumbs up. If you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, it would be much appreciated. We're going for the goal of 270 likes tonight, which we got on Saturday, but we're going to see if we can do it on Tuesday as well. We have had another donation. So this is from Vince. Thank you for this, Vince, and it's for $10. Something that I quickly want to mention is that Vince does send me a link for the pictures over on Facebook that do get uploaded there, so then I can download them and show them on the live stream. But for some reason, I don't know whether it's a privacy setting or something, but when I click on the link to see the pictures, it says that it's not available or something like that. So let me see if I can get this on screen, because I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before, but this is the screen that I'm left with. It says, sorry, this content isn't available at this time. And it's not the fact that it's not available at that time, it just isn't available at any time, which is a little bit annoying. It's got to be something to do with the privacy settings and not having public pictures or something set to public, so I don't know. But I will try and figure out what the problem is with that. It might happen that a little bit later on, when we look at Paul's picture, it might be a bit pixely because I could only get the image that was the thumbnail of the actual image. So we have a couple of pictures later, but yeah, Paul's one might be a little bit pixely. So apologies about that. It's something that I try and sort out in the future. But anyway, Vince, thank you for sending me those links, because it does make it easier when I can open them. I think it's just a Facebook thing, unfortunately. But anyway, the message from Vince says, Phil, people in the Facebook group asked me to pass on a question we've been discussing. Both left-handed and right-handed guitars pick with their dominant hand. Why don't they fret with their dominant hand? And this is an interesting question, and it's something that I think when you're talking about playing the guitar left or right-handed, it's something I was actually talking to my dad about earlier today. How playing the guitar is such a specific skill. And it's something that if a right-handed person learns to play the guitar fretting the notes with their right hand, they are seen as a left-handed guitarist. But they're not really a left-handed anything. They've just learned to play this instrument in that way, in exactly the same way that a right-handed guitarist has learned to fret the notes with the left hand. In my opinion, as a guitar teacher for over 15 years, it doesn't matter which hand you use when you start to play the guitar. It's totally irrelevant, because it is such a unique skill. And the thing that I liken it to is people, when they start playing the piano, they don't feel like, oh, when I play piano, I really want to play the bass notes with my right hand because that's what feels most comfortable because I'm right-handed, or vice versa. They might want to play the top-end melody with their left hand and want to play like this. But nobody plays piano like that unless they're doing stretches where it's a necessity because of the composition. But nobody learns to play like that because they just approach it all in the same way. You don't really play piano left or right-handed. It's just a very particular skill you learn in exactly the same way as guitar is a skill that you learn. So it doesn't really matter how you start, but when you do start to play the guitar and say that you've been playing right-handed for 7 years or 10 years, when you then go to play left-handed, it feels just as alien as if you're starting again. The only advantage is that you now know all the shapes and you know where you're supposed to be putting your fingers, but it'll feel really weird doing it the other way around. You go back to square one because it is such a unique skill. You haven't learned it that way around. So that is my input on left-handed guitarists and right-handed guitarists. Some people have just started to play left-handed because that's the only guitar they had. So it wasn't the case that they were playing right-handed guitars and they thought, oh, I find this so uncomfortable, I've got to switch because I just can't play it this way round. They have literally learned to play the way that they had to for the instrument that they had because it is such a unique set of skills and muscle memory and all of these different things. It is just a unique skill and it doesn't really matter how you approach it. That's my point of view on it. Having taught for quite a long time, I've never had a student who is playing left-handed and they suddenly get to a point where they can't play anymore because they're actually right-handed doing other things. So that is it. And it's pretty much just a case that you can apply to so many different things in your life. Everybody just uses one hand, and then as soon as you try and use the other hand, the particular skill that you haven't learnt yet, you can't do yet, but you can learn to do it the other way around as well. But everyone, especially with the guitar, just tends to keep it with the hand that they started learning from, and then from that day one, they just maintain that. They never get to a point where they think, oh, I can't improve anymore because I'm right-handed, but I'm playing left-handed. Anyway, that's enough of that long answer to that question. But thank you, Vince, for that donation and the question, and also for discussing that over on the Facebook group. I hope that it's made a little bit more sense. It doesn't really matter which hand you fret with when you're learning to play the guitar because, like I've already mentioned, it's just such a unique set of skills that you'll never ever encounter in the rest of your life. You never walk around having the need to hold your fingers in this particular position and then pick out a particular distance between the two hands and a distance between strings. Anyway, thank you, Vince, for that. And Orlando has donated $2 again. Thank you for this, Orlando. The message is, one more time, spike the likes with lots of thumbs up. So a great idea here from Orlando. And let's have a plug of the mug while we are spiking the likes. You can get your hands on this in the tray underneath this video, or head over to teespring.com and type in Wings of Pegasus and you'll find all of the merchandise, including this. And we have a little bit of summer fruit squash going on tonight. We're not doing orange squash, so I've mixed it up a little bit. Thank you for that, Orlando. And I'm just going to see if I can change the screen. This is something that I should have done a little bit earlier because I haven't got the likes on screen yet. But I can give you an exclusive. It looks like we're at 120 likes already. So thank you guys so much for hitting that thumbs up. I will try and organize this so that we can actually see the likes on screen. And again, whenever I start the live stream, the likes thing moves. I don't know why that is, but hopefully I've just adjusted it so that it will come up on screen. And it's 1, 2, 3. And just as I said that, I went to 1, 2, 4. So thank you guys for hitting those thumbs up. We'll keep an eye on that. 270 is the goal for tonight. We'll see how we get on. And Paul has donated $5. Thank you for this, Paul. And the message is, thanks for bringing us this happy place, with a couple of smiley faces. So no problem, Paul. And it's not just me, it's you guys, because if you guys weren't here, then it wouldn't be a happy place or a happy community. It would just be me talking to myself. So thank you everyone for joining in with these live streams and making that live chat room such a cool and friendly place to be, and of course the moderators for keeping it like that as well and doing such a great job. Thank you, Paul, for that donation. And Mary has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Mary. And the message is, hi Phil, what in your opinion is the most important trait to have or to develop if one is a guitar/music teacher? And this could be a very long answer, but for me, the most important thing, I think, is to teach the student how they want to be taught and teach them the stuff they want to learn in order for them to keep their passion for the instrument or for music. Because there are a lot of teachers who have their own agenda and want to teach in a particular way. And I feel like sometimes, especially from students that I've taught who have maybe had lessons when they were a kid and then gave up because they hated the guitar because of the teacher. And it wasn't because they didn't have a passion for playing or that they didn't want to learn to play. They were just told to play in a way that they didn't want to play, or they were told to learn lots of theory and they didn't understand it. And then because they didn't understand it, the teacher would then maybe have a go at them or punish them or something, especially if we're talking about schools a very long time ago. But for me, a teacher should just fuel the flame of creation. So if there is somebody who's got a passion for something, and it goes for not just playing guitar, but a teacher of any sort. If you can just feed that fire within somebody and get it to burn even more brightly, then they will become successful because they've got a passion for something. And when you've got a passion for something, you generally put a lot of hours into it, and you might even end up doing that as a job in the future because you've spent a lot of time doing it and being dedicated to it where other people haven't, who maybe have lost interest. So you will then become the expert because you've spent a hell of a lot of time doing it because you love doing it in the first place. So that would be my advice. The other thing is that I have seen teachers online who, I won't name any names, but you would know the name if I did name them because they are somebody that I have featured in an analysis video in the past. But I was checking out their page when they offered teaching, and on their page they explicitly say on there, no rock or no punk players, please, and words to the effect of don't waste my time, because I'm not going to teach you if you play that kind of music. And for me, that is such a shame that you as a teacher are limiting somebody's potential learning. If somebody says, I play rock music or I play punk music, but I'd love to learn another genre, and the teacher says, no, because you play that, I'm not going to teach you. And for me, that was really surprising and a bit sad, because I think that everyone's got a right to learn exactly what they want to learn. It doesn't matter what music you're into, and this is something that I very much stress on this channel, looking at all types of music, all styles, all genres, all kinds of performers and artists. It doesn't matter the style of music or the genre. Everyone is being creative and they are making their own art. So just because you might not listen to a particular genre of music, it doesn't mean that it makes that artist any less enthusiastic about what they're doing as the artist that you do like. And you can just have that mutual respect for the art form. You might not listen to it, but I think a lot of people sometimes fall into the trap of thinking that I don't like that genre of music, so I think it's rubbish. Whereas you can't really say that, because if you don't like a genre, it means that you don't really know everything about the genre because you haven't dived into it. You don't know the depth of it. And this is something that I think it's great just to accept. If you don't listen to something, that's absolutely fine. Everybody's taste is different, but it doesn't make it instantly rubbish because it doesn't fall within your taste. And yes, teaching for me is exactly the same thing. If somebody came up to me and said, I want to learn punk music, and I have taught punk songs in the past. I've taught the Sex Pistols songs. I'm not going to say to someone, oh no, I'm not going to teach you that because I don't like it. And it's not something that I ever do with any genre of music. I say, I don't like it, so I'm not going to do it. And pretty much, I have to be hard-pressed to find anything that I don't like or have a respect for musically. Because if something was successful, it was successful for a reason. And those are the kind of things that I do like to get into with the analysis videos. But anyway, thank you so much for that, Mary, the question and the donation as well. Deborah has said spike the likes with a $5 donation. Thank you for that, Deborah. Great idea again. We're at 139 at the moment, so we are getting up there. Thank you guys so much. We're just at 20 past 12 here, 20 past midnight here in the UK. So we have still got a bit to go in this live stream. It's a good start. We're at 141 now. So keep smashing that like button. We'll see where we get up to at the end of the live stream. And if we hit that target of 270, thank you, Sue, who has donated $20 as well. The message is, happy Wednesday, Phil. Have a great week. And thank you, Sue, for that. Of course, here in the UK, it is technically Wednesday, even though it's called Live Stream Tuesday. I think in most other parts of the world, or at least where you guys are watching from, or where most people are watching from, is probably still Tuesday. So that's why I call it Live Stream Tuesday. I've only missed Tuesday by 21 minutes. So I'm just a little bit late, but thank you, Sue, for that. And Perry has donated $10. Thank you so much for this, Perry. The message is, Phil, do you think David Lee Roth copied a lot of his frontman moves from Jim Dandy Mangrum of Black Oak, Arkansas? So thank you for that, Perry. And this is difficult because I think that a lot of frontmen definitely took vibes and... When I say vibes, I mean the way that they act on stage, the showmanship, the persona, the personality that they put out when they perform live. They do borrow from previous acts, previous artists. And I think there's an argument for saying that, yes, it's definitely something that you can draw parallels with. And David Lee Roth and Van Halen, just as a whole, were one of those bands that definitely push the boundaries from a technical perspective. When we're talking about Van Halen and what he did with the guitar and tapping and really pushing the boundaries of that and getting something to sound totally different to anything that had come before, but also David Lee Roth with his showmanship that you could argue has a bit of Jim in there as well. But I think there are so many different artists that have come just throughout the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, but some guys that are around in the 50s and the 60s really pushing the envelope of the showmanship side of things. Because before that, when we're talking about the 20s and the 30s and the way that jazz was really in the mainstream, jazz was never one of those genres where they would get a little bit outrageous and put on a bit of a show. It really started to take off in the early 50s and then 60s as well. People started to push that showmanship side. So you could argue that the showmanship has been really there since the 50s and the 60s. And by the time you get to the 80s with the big hair, the high kicks, it just was ramped up a little bit more in that whole decade. And then things tended to then calm down a little bit in the 90s. I think in the 80s, things did go a little bit crazy. But then you could say that the whole shock rock with Alice Cooper, we're talking late 60s, early 70s when Alice started with the whole shock rock concept. You could say that that started pushing the showmanship into a whole new realm. And then you've got another 10, then 15 years to then the 80s. And like I said, it really did evolve. But anyway, let's not get into a history of showmanship over the decades. But thank you so much for that donation. I want to make sure that I don't miss any, so I'm going to scroll up a little bit. But thank you for that, Perry. Mary has donated $5 as well. Thank you so much for that, Mary. And the message is, love that you are not prejudiced against the rubbishy genre, with a smiley face. So thank you for that, Mary, and that $5 donation. And Jose has donated 15 Brazilian real. So thank you so much for that, Jose. I'm going to try and remember a little bit of Portuguese here. So muito obrigado. And there's lots of pictures of some hands and some rock horns and a fist and a smiley face and the Brazil flag. So thank you for that, Jose. And people might not know that I've been to Brazil quite a few times, and Jose bought me a Palmeiras football shirt as well. So thank you so much for that. He can't answer, well, I'm going to say he can't understand a lot of what I'm saying, probably because I'm talking too quickly. But when I was over there, because Jose used to pick me up from the airport and he was my taxi man. But obviously, he was somebody that I knew. It wasn't just a random taxi person who I now keep contact with, but he was so kind to me over in Brazil and made sure that I got to where I needed to be. So a massive thank you to you, Jose, for that. And Jeannie has donated $5 as well. And the message is, happy live stream, wingers. Fingers crossed we have a cartoon today. Thank you for everything, Phil, with a smiley face and a heart. So thank you for that, Jeannie. And this is something that I haven't had time to get any new cartoons on. It depends how much time we've got. Well, we haven't got to the first video. We haven't even done the first video of the night. Right, let me, before we keep on going until the end of the live stream, I don't actually play any videos, we are going to jump into the first video of the night. But thank you so much for that donation, Jeannie, and for reminding me just to get into some of the videos for tonight. Thank you also for you guys for answering my requests over on Patreon. This is going to be my song called Haunted. It's going to be the lyric video version of it. And this is requested by Carla and Deborah over on Patreon. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll be back into the donations after this. While this is playing, I'm going to try and sort out what I said I was going to sort out, which I can't remember at the moment what it was. Oh, it was adding the names to the list of patrons at the bottom. So I'll try and do that. If everything crashes, that's probably why, because I'm doing too many things at once. But I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll pop into the live chat room while this is playing, and I'll see you guys after. Rock!
Rain falls outside my
And there we have it. That was my song called Haunted. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. You can pick that up at wingsofpegasus.com/store. And you can download the album there called Persistence and get tracks individually. Whatever floats your boat. So thank you so much for requesting that over on Patreon, Carla and Deborah as well. We are going to get the super chat window up on screen again because there's been a bit of action in there, and let's have a little look at what's going on there. I can see that the live chat room's looking a little bit wonky at the moment, so I'm going to see if I can actually adjust that live. This could totally backfire. But what else was I? Oh, I was changing the names at the bottom, and hopefully that is going to work as well. I'm not sure whether that will. I tried to reset it, so we will have a little look. But it was Paul's name that I was just adding to the end of that. Let me scroll down here so that the live chat is more about the live chat and not about the surrounding things around the live chat. So hopefully that's going to work. And look, you can see my little mouse thing there, and that is all live. We are adjusting things on the fly. So thank you so much, everyone, for these super chat donations. I am going to jump back into that window, and I just want to scroll up to make sure I don't miss anything going on here. So it was Vince who donated $10 again. Thank you for this, Vince. And the message is from the live chat. Jennifer's son wants to know what instrument that you don't already know would you like to learn. So thank you for that, Vince and Jennifer. And I'm not really sure. I think that if there was an instrument that I really wanted to play, I probably would have picked it up and had a go at it by now. So there's nothing really that I can think of. Maybe violin, just because it's something that the muscle memory from guitar is just going to cross over. The only thing is that you haven't got frets, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but you've still got the side-to-side vibrato that you would use in your fretting hand when you're playing the guitar on the violin. So it's also something that would be nice to have that constant sustain of the string rather than having to pick it and then it dying. You can just constantly keep that note ringing out and constant sustain on a violin, which would be nice. But maybe it's something that I haven't really got into or had the time to really dive into, just because it isn't really one of those instruments that when I play my hard rock music and classic 80s rock stuff, the violin isn't really the first go-to instrument. It's very much guitar, and that's where I started out with lead guitar, and then after that vocals, needing to learn how to sing and then harmonize, and then drums and bass and keys, just all of the things that you get classically in 80s rock. That's what I started to gravitate towards. But thank you so much for that, Vince and Jennifer as well. And Stacy has donated $20. So thank you for that, Stacy. And the message is, thanks for being you, with the person looking in the mirror at themselves. So thank you for that, Stacy. And I'm just going to scroll down a little bit because Amy has donated $9.99. Thank you for this, Amy. The message is, Phil and folks, these questions and answers tonight are so right on. Touche. Thank you for that, Amy, and thank you for all of these questions, and hopefully the answers don't go on too long, but sometimes when it is a question that needs a lot of explaining, then I do sometimes get a little bit sidetracked. But thank you for all of the questions tonight as well. And Kathleen has donated $20. Thank you for this, Kathleen. And the message is, thanks for such a wonderful channel, and thank you for watching it, because that's what allows it to grow. And everyone who not only watches but hits the thumbs up on these live streams, but also on the analysis videos, and everyone who hits that subscribe button, because in the last live stream I mentioned that we just passed 148,000 subscribers. So thank you guys for subscribing, because that also helps this channel to grow and for all of the videos to get out there. So it is much appreciated. Lisa has donated $5. Thank you for this, Lisa. The message is, I saw on one of your bio videos that you were a guest on a show called Celebrity Juice. Can you tell us about that? Okay, so this was all part of, there's a talent show here in the UK called The X Factor, which I went on, and they have 3 producer auditions before you even get to the TV stage, and on that, instead of going and singing, I just walked out of the room, and I was trying to prove a point that you didn't necessarily need talent to be featured on a TV show that says it's about talent and it's a singing contest. That's at least how they promote it. But anyway, so I got through all 3 auditions by not singing, not doing anything, but just walking out of the room. So then I got to the TV stage, and then I got up on the desk and walked around the room. And before I went in, I said to the producer, I said, what hasn't been done before on the show? And they said, well, nobody's got up on the table. And I said, okay, well, that's what I'll do then, because I wasn't really looking at trying to perform well or be seen as a genuine, reputable artist. Well, it's not something that I really agree with the TV shows on that side of things anyway, but that's a long story. When we got to Wembley Arena, I got through that TV audition again, which was totally stupid, and got to Wembley Arena, and then I smashed up some glasses on the stage. One of the judges poured water over me, and I threw water everywhere, and yeah. So that got on TV, which was kind of just proving the point that I wanted to prove. I also went running out into the crowd and jumped around a bit, but the Celebrity Juice thing happened, I think, the week after the X Factor was on TV here. So I was relatively known at that point. People knew what I looked like and knew my face. People won't remember it now because that was many, many years ago. I think maybe 7 or 8 years ago that was. So yeah, it was one of those things that I was known for maybe my 5 minutes of fame, even though I'm not really into the fame thing. So that suits me very nicely. So yeah, I was asked to go on Celebrity Juice, and I wasn't a guest. I was somebody who came on, and I was on there for one particular round where it was like a game show, and the game show has celebrities on the panel, and one of the people was Jason Derulo. I think maybe you guys might have heard of him in the USA, I'm not sure, but he was on the show, so that was the panel show thing that I was on, and yeah, that was all good fun, but very much tongue-in-cheek, and it wasn't me doing anything seriously musical. It was just me messing around, really. And it's great to be asked to go on that show, because that's a show that I used to watch quite a lot, and when I had more time to watch TV. And yeah, the guy who does it, he's a guy who does a character called Keith Lemon here in the UK, and he's quite well known, but I think his character is a little bit love him or hate him kind of thing, but it is a comedy character. Some people think that the actual person is him and that this character is a real person, but it's not. But anyway, thank you so much for that, Lisa. Hopefully that's explained it. And Lucy has donated $19.99. Again, thank you for that, Lucy. The message is, one of Greg Lake's great quotes, music is an emotional experience, and that is what imprints itself on the soul. And I think for me, any great art is art which communicates human emotion. May he rest in peace with a heart. So thank you for that, Lucy, and some wise words that really encapsulates everything about music and art in general, and why it is so subjective, because a particular piece of art that speaks to you might not speak to the person next to you. But that's the whole point, that art speaks to different people at different times, and sometimes you can have art or music in this case that doesn't speak to you until you get a little bit older, and maybe you understand it on a deeper level. So it's all very interesting stuff, but thank you so much for that, Lucy. And I'm just going to scroll down because we've had another donation from Italian Carrot Red, who has donated $9.99. Thank you so much for this. The message is, the world is in chaos, but watching you puts a smile on our faces. Thank you, Phil. So no problem. Thank you for joining me and for that donation as well. And Jeannie has donated $5. Thank you for this, Jeannie. The message is, have you got your new internet yet, Phil? You are a great tech guru if need be, but hopefully won't have to be, with a smiley face. So tomorrow is going to be a busy day for me, because that is when they are coming to organize the internet and sort out the wires, hopefully, and install what needs to be installed and all that kind of stuff. And then hopefully that's going to be between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. and then in the afternoon I have a haircut as well, so hopefully those things aren't going to overlap. As you can see, my hair's getting a little bit long. Generally, whenever my hair starts getting a center parting, that's when I can no longer see anything because my hair's too long to go as a fringe because I can't see anything. But anyway, thank you so much for that donation. And Jeannie was $5. I think I mentioned that as well. But yeah, so new internet tomorrow. Fingers crossed, hopefully, because I've been waiting maybe 2 weeks since their first visit to get it organized. So hopefully that will be okay. But we will see tonight if we can get away with the internet on the original service provider of Virgin Media, who aren't very good. But anyway, Vince has donated $5. Thank you so much for that, Vince. And the message is harmonica, ocarina, flute, sax, any instruments that are played by mouth. Not really. Maybe a little bit of harmonica. I do have a harmonica somewhere, but like I said on my live stream when I started talking about the harmonica before, it's something that I don't know. It's in this room somewhere, but I don't know where it is. So it shows you how much I've actually played it. But I think, yeah, maybe saxophone, but it does look like a lot of effort, and there's going to be a lot of breath support required. And I think that maybe it'll be too much effort for me. I'll maybe get a bit lightheaded in order to try and play the saxophone. But it could be something that I'd be interested in, definitely the harmonica, and that's actually the first thing that you suggested. So yes, I would probably get a little bit better at that. But again, with the kind of music that I do, I don't really get into classic kind of harmonica or playing blues with harmonica, that kind of stuff. I'm very much into the hard rock side of things. But yeah, you never know, in the future, maybe I'll find it and play it a little bit more. But thank you for that, Vince. And Ray has donated $100. Thank you so much for that, Ray. And the message is, and such a kind donation again, the message is, I have heard of artists who prefer being in a studio to live performance. Do you know any? Are you equally comfortable in both settings? I have recently discovered a bit of red light fever in me when recording videos. Stage seems easier. I don't know why. So thank you for this, Ray. And this is really addressing the mental side of being a musician and the way that you deal with playing live. Some people get really nervous when they play live. Some people feel more confident when they're live. Some people just want to get out there and perform and don't necessarily get too nervous and get more excited than nervous. I think I'm one of the people that I just like to perform live. So it's something that I've never gone up on stage and thought, oh, I'm scared to be here. I'm just one of those people that enjoys playing to people. So, and I think it's also good to get up on stage and perform in front of people, especially to get used to it and to learn the whole stagecraft of performing live, but also just to show off your ability and your musicianship and everything that you've worked on, just to try and put across your artistry, because that's what it's all about. But with performing in a studio, this is a whole nother kettle of fish, because as soon as the red light comes on, and people that don't know, who haven't been in studios before, when you're recording, generally there'll be, or at least there used to be, a red light that comes on which signifies that recording is in process. So then everybody be quiet, and especially people outside, you'd have a light outside the recording studio just so people aren't making a racket and ruin a potential perfect take that a vocalist might be doing because somebody shouts in the background and then they can't use it. So what happens is you can play through a riff 10 or 20 or 30 times, just jamming it out and warming up before you start recording. And as soon as that red light comes on, you now lose the ability to play the thing that you've played 30 or 40 times perfectly. And this is just one of those standard things that happens to everybody. Everybody gets red light syndrome. And that's why it's called that, this red light syndrome, that everybody just has this whole approach of now being self-aware and self-conscious of themselves. Rather than just performing and not thinking about what they're doing, they're now thinking about what they're playing and how it's going to sound when it's being recorded. And there's also this approach of, I've got to play it perfectly, because if I mess it up, I've got to do it again. And you put pressure on yourself, and then you start making mistakes. So that whole red light fever, red light syndrome is something that just affects everybody. The only way that you can really get over that is just lots and lots and lots and lots of practice, but just getting used to recording. And especially if you've got your own recording software on your own computer, it definitely helps that you can then practice recording and just do it all yourself. Set up your own whole recording studio setup if you want to. Just pretend that you're in another studio and just start recording and test yourself. It's exactly the same as playing live. And when you make mistakes playing live, the more you do it, the more you'll get used to making mistakes, and the less you'll make, but also the less you'll be affected by making mistakes live. And that also goes for making mistakes in the studio as well. The great thing is that in the studio you can just do it again and it doesn't really matter, whereas live you just get one shot at it. But if you're just into it live, I think that's the most important thing, the energy of the performance, and don't worry too much about being really perfect with everything. But anyway, thank you so much for that donation, Ray. We are going to be jumping into the next video of the night, and this is going to be a bit of fun because we're going to be taking a look at my cover of Johnny Be Good, and this is the version from the Back to the Future movie. So this was requested over on Patreon, so thank you Kevin and Lisa for that. I'm going to play this video. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. It does have the movie footage on there as well that I tried to sync up my playing to the playing in the video, and yeah, hopefully it worked quite well, or it seemed to be okay when I did the video. But yes, so it's me and Marty McFly playing a little bit of Johnny Be Good. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you guys after. Rock! Okay, Back to the Future version of Johnny Be Good. Let's do this. Rock! And there we have it. That was my cover of the Back to the Future version of Johnny Be Good. And interestingly, while that was playing, I got a message saying about there being copyrighted audio and video in your stream. So this is something that I don't think I've seen this message before. So YouTube must be clamping down on the copyrights even more than previously, and this is something that just seems to be happening more and more. And I know that you guys have seen a lot of the analysis videos recently that have been blocked on copyrights. So it is a bit of a shame. I think actually in this case it's not the audio, because that is me playing everything and doing the audio from scratch. It's got to be the moving images of Back to the Future, because that is the footage from the movie, and the moving images are also something that gets tagged, or at least the automatic computers in YouTube can tell a moving image whether it's copyright or not. So that's probably what that was, and that's probably why I've never had that message before. Maybe when I played that Back to the Future video before, the copyrights thing wasn't as strict, so it'll be something that maybe I won't be able to play that one in the future, and that might get blocked, or maybe this stream will get blocked. I'll have to keep an eye on it. Hopefully you guys will be able to see this, the catch-up crew, later on, and that little bit of moving image from Back to the Future hasn't ruined everything for everybody, but we will see what happens. If that is the case, what I'll do is just cut out the cover video from tonight's live stream, so that hopefully then it will be available to everyone to catch up with later on, but we will see. So that is a development that we can keep an eye on after the live stream, but I hope you guys enjoyed that anyway. We got through it. It didn't get blocked immediately, so it might be alright in the copyrights. I'll have to wait and see after the live stream, but I think generally if something is properly blocked, then the whole live stream gets blocked straight away and it disconnects. But anyway, hopefully it'll be fine. Let's get the super chat window up on screen, because we've had a couple of donations from Stephen, who has donated $4. Thank you for that, Stephen. And it's the guy holding up the summer fruit squash, or the mug of wine, whatever is in that mug. But then we've had another donation from Stephen for $3. Thank you for that. And it looks like it's a guy with fist bump. It's a bit small, but I think that's what it says on his hands. So thank you for that, Stephen. And Vince has donated $10 again. Thank you for this, Vince. The message is, Phil, do you know the Ralph Macchio movie Crossroads? What did you think of his finger syncing, faking the guitar solos, and also the guitar battle at the end? Everyone, that's a fun movie musically. So yes, the Crossroads duel is something that I think I first saw that when I was a teenager, but this is, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, but I'm sure everyone's seen Karate Kid, and if you haven't seen the movie and the movie Crossroads, but if you've seen Karate Kid is the kid in Crossroads who's having to try and finger sync, or he's trying to mime what Steve Vai played on the recording in the duel scene for that movie Crossroads, and it is properly technical stuff, so even just trying to mime that is going to be really difficult. And I think he does a really good job, because some people don't realise that it's Steve Vai who recorded obviously his part, but then the other part as well. It's just Steve Vai effectively having a battle with Steve Vai audio wise on the recording, but it was such a great job from Ralph, who I just want to make sure that I'm not going to call him Karate Kid, but Ralph did such a great job, and it must have been something that took a fair while to just get it down. And I think he must have had some kind of experience playing the guitar to begin with in order to make it look natural, or as natural as possible, because it's something that if you are trying to fake playing something that is top end on the technical ability scale, especially by Steve Vai, then it's going to take at least a little bit of knowledge of playing the guitar in the first place. Otherwise it would just look really weird if you were just kind of, he'd have his hands in all the wrong positions and he wouldn't look like he's picking the strings, and it would look really awkward. So I think he did a really good job on that movie, and when I saw it as a guitar player in my teens, it was really close, or at least it was synced up really well. So yeah, hats off to Ralph for doing a great job there. So thank you, Vince, for that donation, and everyone maybe can go and check out. If you type in Duel from Crossroads, you'll probably find it on YouTube immediately. But thank you, Vince, for that. And Orlando has donated $5. Thank you so much for that, Orlando. And the message is, if I'm not mistaken, Michael J. Fox is a real-life guitarist / musician. He actually sang and played guitar for that piece in Back to the Future. So thank you for that, Orlando. And yes, that is true. Michael J. Fox was and is a musician. Unfortunately, with Parkinson's and having that and losing control, I mean, that must be so difficult to take, because he, plays the guitar. And even still with Parkinson's disease, still I've seen him playing and still playing well. And yeah, he is a guitarist. And this is why in the movie, again, when we're talking about syncing up and playing the correct things on the guitar, when he's playing the guitar in that particular scene, he's pretty accurate with most of it. The biggest giveaway is at the end, where there's that end note that he bends up and we're really close in and you can hear it just descend. So it's like letting the string down all the way to where you started, but he keeps his hand in the same position. So you'll notice that if you play guitar, but the rest of it is pretty cool, and jumping around and having his hand in pretty much the right place where it should be. So yeah, great job by Michael on that as well, but he did play originally, so he probably had a lot of those licks down in the first place. But thank you as well, Stephen, who has donated $1.99 again. Thank you for that. And there's a thumbs up. And Orlando has just popped in with another donation of $5. Thank you for that, Orlando. The message is, I believe Ralph Macchio was inspired to take up guitar after Crossroads. He too became an accomplished guitar player. So thank you for that, Orlando. And I think probably if he didn't play the guitar and then he had to try and pretend to play something that Steve Vai played, then he probably spent a hell of a lot of time doing that and probably got a really good head start on learning the guitar in the first place. So it's a great job by Ralph if he literally just picked it up and had to learn to do that from scratch. But thank you, Orlando, for that. And Perry has donated $15. Thank you so much for that, Perry. The message is, Phil, I will fly across the pond to do the sax solo in the Average White Band's Pick Up the Pieces. If you will play the lead guitar and the vocals on my own dime, we may go platinum. Who knows? So thank you for that, Perry, and a $15 donation. And yes, who knows? I think, unfortunately, getting a flight over here might be difficult with everything at the moment, but you never know what can happen in the future. But thank you, Perry, for that donation. We are going to be jumping into the next video, and this is something that I know won't be blocked on copyrights because it's my own copyrights. So I'm definitely allowed to play this, and I do get a copyright claim from myself through the publishing company, so it's all good on this next video. It is going to be my song called Unwanted Stranger, and this was requested over on Patreon again by Mary, Lisa, and Kevin, so thank you guys for that. And just as I say that, I double clicked on the window with everything that was just set up, so it's now minimized and it disappeared somewhere, and I don't know where it's gone. So now I'm gonna have to try and find the whole screen again. We are back. I found it. Okay, everything is fine. Let me just click once on the screen so that it doesn't minimize it, and it should play my song called Unwanted Stranger. Hopefully it will, fingers crossed, and if it does, great, and I'll be in the live chat room. If it doesn't, we'll have to see how we get on and just roll with it. But if you do get a chance as well, please hit that thumbs up button. We'll see where we end up by the end of the live stream. We're aiming for 270, which is a huge target. We did reach that on Saturday, I think right at the end of the live stream, literally within the last few minutes. So if you haven't hit that thumbs up, it'd be massively appreciated if you could do that. And I'll see you guys after this rock.
Told me something about you that I didn't want to know. Look me right in the eye and then you placed your head on my shoulder. This position that you put me in, you're on a mission to take my world from around me. Wide awake
there we have it. That was my song called Unwanted Stranger. And again, that's available on my album called Persistence over at wingsofpegasus.com/store in order to get your hands on all of that kind of stuff. And that included some very slow motion headbanging. And that was only possible because this was the time when the iPhone came out, and I'm not sure which iPhone it was, but it had the slow motion camera option on it. And my sister had an iPhone, so I nicked her phone and did that music video with it. So I used her slow motion function, which was great because it served the purpose for making the video, I think, look a little bit better because I like the slow motion headbanging part of it, and that was my sister's phone that I used. So a little bit of brotherly theft going on there, but she didn't mind. It was absolutely fine. Anyway, we're going to get back into the super chat window because I said that very quickly, because we've had another donation, and the message is, or the donations from Vince is for $5. Thank you for that again, Vince. And the message is from live chat. Jennifer says, hey Vince, if you want to ask Phil why so many musicians and singers are now getting Parkinson's seems to be a going thing. So thank you for that. And I don't know the answer to this. I think probably because Parkinson's is quite a widespread thing anyway, it's what you hear about it when famous people have it, so it becomes something that's in your psyche and in the mainstream because that person has it and these people have had it, and it seems like it's prevalent in just musicians, but that isn't the case. It's just one of those things, unfortunately, that is prevalent all over the place. But people that are famous, obviously it's going to stick out a little bit more if they do start to develop Parkinson's disease. And I'm not sure it's something that can be directly attributed to being a musician or a singer. It's just something that happens, and it seems like something that either is going to happen to you or it's not going to happen. I'm not sure what you can do to try and avoid it, and it's just whether you are lucky or unlucky, and that seems to be the thing with life. There are so many things that you are lucky with and so many other things that you can be unlucky with, and I think just keeping yourself fit and healthy is the best way to go, but then even still, there's nothing that can guarantee you not getting a particular disease or getting Parkinson's disease or anything else. So I'd say just try and stay as fit and as healthy as possible, but sometimes it's just the lottery of life, unfortunately. I think, to answer that question, I don't think there's anything particularly that just singles out musicians and singers for Parkinson's disease. It's just that when somebody does get it, it then is a little bit more of a headline and draws attention to the fact that a musician has got Parkinson's disease. But anyway, thank you for that, Vince, and also Jennifer. Stephen has donated $10. Thank you again for this, Stephen. And it's the guy jumping up and down with #1 fan. So thank you for that, Stephen. And Nora has just donated $10 as well. Thank you for this, Nora. And the message is, when you sing, placed your head on my shoulder, you glanced down at your shoulder. Did that come naturally or did you plan it? It really adds to the performance. Rock. So thank you for that. And I don't think I planned it. It's just doing or singing the lyrics, and because I know what the lyrics refer to, then I probably acted that out a little bit more. Also considering the fact that because it's like a music video, I'm not holding a microphone or playing the guitar, so it's a little bit more of an acting out of the lyrical content rather than concentrating on the performance of playing the riff and singing at the same time, so you can act it out a little bit more. But it's not something that I sat down and planned, right, I'm going to do this at that time and this at the other time. So to answer that, no, it wasn't planned, I just did it. But thank you, Nora, for that donation. And Lisa has donated $5. Thank you so much for that. And the message is, does Joanna know about all the things you've done behind her back? So thank you for that. And just in case you don't know, Joanna, that is my sister's name. Even though she probably prefers to be called Jojo, that's her nickname or name that she goes by. I think Joanna, because I call her Jo, So Joanna's probably the name that my mum and dad use most likely, and I think maybe they call her Jo more. I don't know. I'll have to do a secret poll in my head to see what my parents call my sister and what I call her, and I'm sure that all her friends call her Jojo. Anyway, Joanna is my sister. Just to keep that as brief as possible, because I have drawn it out. I haven't done very many things behind her back, because that she knew that her phone was gone, and then I said, oh, I've used it for my music video. I've also told her about the fact that she was in my Don't Cry music video, but I don't think she really took that in. She didn't really understand what I meant. But yeah, so I have been honest. She knows about everything that I've done, but whether she remembers that or not, I do not know. But thank you for that donation, Lisa. And King Nero has donated $10. Thank you so much for that. And the message is, you can see the quality of a person by the company they keep, and Phil, you have great fans because you are a good person. Thanks for entertaining us. So thank you for those kind words. And thank you for joining me in the live chat room on these live streams, because without you guys, there wouldn't be a community, and there wouldn't be the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook as well. Let me just give that a quick shout out. You can head over to Facebook. If you want to join in with the conversation there, join the after party, which Vince hosts on that page. Type in Wings of Pegasus supporters and you'll be able to find that page on Facebook, and you can join up to there. So thank you everybody for these donations and for joining me tonight. It is 1:10 already here in the UK, so we're going to have to be calling this to a close pretty soon. It looks like we are going to have to be looking at the catch-up crew, because we're at 227 likes. So, is that 53 or 54 likes we're looking for from the catch-up crew when this live stream has finished? I am going to have to check with the whole copyright thing. I'll do that after this video once it's been processed, to make sure that any parts that have been blocked are removed, and then it should be okay. If it's just my songs, obviously I own the copyrights to all of those, and it will be fine from that perspective. So hopefully it'll be okay. If you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, it would be massively appreciated if you could, because we'll try and max out the likes as much as possible on this live stream. I think that the Tuesday live streams are always going to be more difficult, because a lot of people have been working or are working, and we've had that at the beginning of the live stream with Linda Z, who is working tonight as well, and we'll be catching up on this later on. So thank you everyone for joining me tonight. We're going to jump into the final video of the night, and this is going to be my lyric video for Greed, again, one of my songs from my album called Persistence, and this was requested by Orlando and Deborah. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you guys afterwards. I'll jump into the live chat room while this is playing, and I'll see you guys in a second. Rock!
Now the fire's burning low.
have it. That was my song called Greed. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. And I just want to make sure that everything is still okay on screen. Let me just get the super chat window up on screen. I think I have addressed all of those, but I just want to make sure that I haven't missed anybody. Just as I said that, Paul just slotted in. And let me just make sure that above that we've covered those donations. So Paul has donated $5. Thank you for that, Paul. The message is the Emmy Sunshine shirts I mailed you are in the UK now. You should get them this week. Thanks again for what you do. So thank you, Paul, for that, and I will keep an eye out for those shirts. So that is much appreciated. Just as I say that, Stephen pops in with a $5 donation, and it's a cat, I think, and maybe that says number 1 on it, but all I can see is the 1 because it's really small. But thank you, Stephen, for that donation again. And we're going to do the pictures. We're going to do the pictures and the photos. There's only a couple of them, and as I said, one of them's going to be a little bit pixelified because I couldn't get the high quality version of it. I've still got to try and suss out why Facebook won't show me the pictures. But anyway, here we go. We're going to be jumping into just a couple of pictures tonight, and I have to do this from a different screen. So first of all, we get the background, and there's the background. So we're all ready to go. First of all, we're going to have, it should be, let me see if this is working. Here we go. Now, this is, I'm calling this the Raxon Sisters because as you can see, they've got the albums out, they're in full flow with a very special guest, and yes, it is Paul McCartney who's just popped in to have a little listen to Persistence. So thank you so much for uploading that to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook. Again, I just want to give that a quick shout out. If you head over to Facebook, type in Wings of Pegasus supporters group, or just Wings of Pegasus supporters, you'll be able to find the page where these pictures get uploaded to. So a massive thank you here to the Raxon Sisters and for Susan just uploading that in the first place. So thank you, Susan, for doing that. And we should now be able to get Paul, and this might be the really pixely one, and here it is. So this is Paul's picture. Apologies about the quality of it, but in terms of the quality of the picture and the artistry involved, take a look at this, because Paul has managed to make half of his face half of my face, and he's got the perspective pretty much absolutely spot on. Even the jawline fits, the glasses fit, even the hair is the same height. So amazing job here by Paul on this picture. And he's also holding a Spike the Likes mug. So a massive thank you for the amount of effort that went into that picture to get it exactly right, but also for uploading that picture to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook. So the Raxon Sisters and Paul are featured tonight on the picture section, which I did finally remember to do, and thank you so much for the reminders in the live chat room, because I might have forgotten to do that. I have to try and put in a segment after, I think it was because the cover video had the copyright thing dealing with it. That's what put me off about then featuring the photos at that time, because that's what I usually do, or at least try and do. So thank you guys so much for joining me. We are at 251 likes, so we're going to be calling it to a close now, but it means that we're only looking for 19 more people. I'm not sure whether when I did the maths earlier, I said it was 50 and maybe it was 30. I can't remember whether it was 220 that I said or 230. Anyway, the maths was off, but now it is 17 likes that we're looking for in order to get to that target. And I don't think we're going to do this before the end of the live stream, because we're just about to finish now. So it would take one hell of a final spike of the likes in order to get up to 270, because we are at 254. And I think pretty much everyone in that live chat room has used their thumbs up token for tonight. So This is something that we're going to have to look towards the catch-up crew to hit that thumbs up, see if you guys can get us past 270, and if you could, it would be massively appreciated. Like I always say, these videos, the live streams, do get out there a little bit more if there are more thumbs up, and it also helps the channel to grow as a whole. So I want to say a massive thank you to everyone for joining me tonight. Just having a quick look in that live chat room again. We have Gail and Barbara and Ray and Valerie and Susan and Dennis and Plastico Flamingo and Lisa and Barbara and Jennifer and Neil and Matt and Carla and Jennifer and Laurie and Lucy and Ray again. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. Massive shout out to the moderators for doing such a great job on these live streams. So thank you, Neil, Carla and Laurie, for doing such a great job tonight. And let me just have a look into the super chat window because we have had a couple more donations. And Liz has donated $25. So thank you so much for that, Liz. And the message is, what inspires you lately? And I'm not sure what the answer to that is. When I'm thinking about being inspired, I think probably every time that I do an analysis video, I'm inspired to a certain extent because of the level of ability that's generally on show, because of the amount of requests that I get for just top level artists. And I think you can't help but be inspired at a certain level when you're watching a top singer perform. Or the other thing, when I'm analyzing and talking about particular techniques and vocal techniques, it does bring them to the forefront. So then I might be singing a particular song or humming a song with, say for example, a wider vibrato than I normally would, because I've been analyzing somebody with a wider vibrato or a classical vibrato the night before in the analysis video. But yes, inspiring. Yeah, it's difficult to say, but probably that it helps with what I do every single night on the analysis videos to have such inspiring performers and artists that I can look at. So I am inspired daily pretty much, but also by your comments, you guys who send me messages and comment on the videos and send me emails and saying very kind things. The other thing that inspires me just to keep going with the channel is the feedback that I get from some of the artists that I have featured. And I always think that if it's good enough for them, considering how great they are as artists, and we're talking about really cool people, and I mentioned Neil Sedaka, who got in touch recently, and those kind of people, that Don McLean as well, that get in touch, and you think that if they like the channel and the videos that I'm doing, then it's definitely worth going. But also just you guys that say you really enjoy the videos. I've always said, as long as you guys enjoy the videos, then I will keep on making them. And that's going to continue as long as it is possible with the support that I get here on the live streams, and especially the support over on Patreon. That is the foundation of my channel. So all of these people at the bottom of the screen that support me, they make the videos happen every single night. And as long as I've got that support and that foundation, it means that I can always produce videos, because you guys give me that ability and that security in order to do that. So thank you guys so much for your support over on Patreon, but also the donations on the live streams, because it really does make such a difference. But thank you, Stephen, again, who has given $3 this time and has given another cat saying something, and this is bye-bye, I think. So thank you for that, Stephen. And Orlando has popped in with another donation for $5. Thank you for that, Orlando. The message is, thank you for another great live stream. I will not be available this Saturday. I will see everyone next Tuesday. Rock with some rock horns. So thank you for that, Orlando. And I'm sure Orlando's going to leave a like on that next live stream, either with the catch-up crew, or maybe popping in with a very early like, because I think that is possible to hit the like before the live streams even started. So you don't even know whether you like it or not yet, but you can still like it beforehand. But anyway, thank you, Orlando, for that. We're going to be calling this to a close now, and the final figure for the live stream is 262. So we were so close, yet so far from that target of 270. We were only looking for 8 people in order to hit that target. So we were so close. The other thing is that on Saturday, we made the target right at the end. So it's pretty good in terms of everyone getting involved on a Tuesday as well. Even though people are obviously working, less people are going to be available to get involved with the live streams on the Tuesday, but we were pretty close. It's gone up to 263. So we are now looking in the direction of the catch-up crew in order to get us past that target of 270. And the target on Saturday is going to be 275 because we're going for 5 more people every live stream. Maybe we can do that, get 5 more people involved with every live stream. That would be cool. That would be quite a target to hit, but we will see how we get there, or how we get on Saturday, and if we get there to 275. But we are going to finish tonight on 264, so we're only looking for 6 people in the catch-up crew. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. As always, I'll upload this live stream to Patreon, and you guys can check it out there. It will hopefully be public on YouTube as well. Checking the copyright things, I'll look into that, make sure that's all okay. Thank you for all of the donations tonight, just for joining me in general on the channel, for your comments, your likes, and your subscriptions. Hitting that subscribe button, it is massively appreciated. So I'm going to be calling this to a close now. As always, I'm going to be live at the same time, the same place on Saturday night, and I'm going to be here with an analysis video every other night other than the live streams. So that means I'll be here tomorrow night as well with another analysis video, and I'll be in the comment section as always. I read through all of the comments and I mark them all. I don't have time, unfortunately, to respond to every single comment, but I do work my way through all of those. So thank you everyone for joining me. I'll see you live again on Saturday, and I'll see you in the comment section of tomorrow night's analysis video. I hope you have a great week, and just stay safe, stay isolated, stay with the masks on if that's what your particular government is telling you to do, and just stay as safe as possible, keep your distance, and all those sensible things that are most wise to be doing at the moment. But thank you guys. I will catch you guys on Saturday and see you in the comment section of tomorrow night's analysis video. Catch you guys then. Rock!